Good afternoon, everybody. My name is MiAh the King, and today we're looking at a game called Decision Red Daze, a game that was just released on Steam a few hours ago. Developed by Fly Anvil and published by Nord Current Labs, this game is an action RPG with a top-down look and feel to it. It's considered open world, role-playing, action with zombies in a post-apocalyptic hellhole. So, you know, your typical zombie survival game. In regards to its plot and its idea, it's not very original. So in this game, you're just some random guy who suddenly gets put on a path of quest after quest to help rebuild humanity. That's basically it. There's this red mist that spreads and makes the contagion worse, I guess. It's airborne, and you can't really venture out into it or it's pretty much instant death. So all it focuses on are these wave transmitters in each camp that you have to maintain, upgrade, and whatnot. And that'll basically expand the areas that you can explore safely, and then you can go back to looting and fighting zombies and whatnot. And, by safely, I mean you won't die instantly like with the red mist. There's still plenty of zombies around wreaking havoc, so you still gotta be careful as you explore. But, yeah, it's got a character screen with stats and information about your guy, which you can customize, by the way. It's got an inventory screen with, different stuff that has different stats and whatnot, along with your character, who has his different stats, like strength or whatever. Along with this, you can recruit people to your camp or to your own personal squad where you can manage their gear and possibly their fighting style. I didn't really look into the fighting style too much, but I do know that you could manage their gear and give them weapons and stuff. So that was pretty cool. The bases you capture can't be customized, but they can be upgraded in various different fashions, all that help to improve your base with defense or whatever. The supplies you gather all serve a purpose to the survival of your people or to the overall defensive power of your base. You can unlock new bases by charging in and clearing them of zombies, then repairing the wave transmitter thingies that they've got, and then you can move your headquarters over and over to newer and better spots. So overall, that's the gist of the game. That's pretty much it. You explore, gather, build. That's zombie survival game, except that it's top down. Overall, the base building, base capturing, and upgrading section was just fine. I didn't really see anything wrong with it. Overall, the idea is kind of cool, and it all made sense, so that was good. It was really just like, how do I explain this? It was just engaging. It was immersive. I guess that's the best way to put it. But before we go on with any of the stuff that I liked, I want to go over the things that either irritated me or were a bad design choice in my own personal opinion. Also, this game is not in early access, so according to the Steam store page, this is the final result. So first off, I've never been a big fan of having to use my mouse to aim and WASD to move in games like this. It's just not my thing. Never really felt like it was worth it to me. Some games do it right, like the game Darkwood, but others not so much. Here? Well, so far it's a bit of a toss-up. I can't tell if my guy is missing his shots because he's low level with low skill, or if it's because of bad programming. But if it's based on the unit's individual skill, and that's why he's missing, then it's working fine, I guess. A bit wonky here and there, but overall it's fine. I don't really like the jittery way the game plays either. Like, to go into a build menu when you're upgrading a turret or something, the game has a load timer thingy for it. I don't really know. It's unnecessary. It slows the game down, and it's annoying. I can understand if you're going to have one of those things for when you're searching for loot or something, because that makes sense. But, I mean, it does it for everything that doesn't make sense. I mean, pulling out your gun takes several seconds in-game. Like, what is the point? And along that vein, sometimes your guy just puts his gun away randomly, even though you didn't tell him to do it, and now he's got to spend several seconds pulling it back out, even though you were in the middle of a zombie fight. That made no sense. But for the building, you have to go in, and there's a few second delay, and then sometimes after leaving that particular build menu, your character will be stuck, unable to move for a few seconds, like he's trapped. That kind of stuff is everywhere, and it gets very frustrating very fast. I hate the fact that the game pairs your stamina with your hunger. Your stamina bar and your hunger bar are one and the same. So the only way to increase your stamina is to consume food on the regular. Now, that would be fine, except food is a precious commodity, and it's rare to find, right? We all know that. So, but the fact that they tied your stamina recovery to your food and only to your food makes it incredibly frustrating. Because you also have to feed all your survivors, and you have to use the food to upgrade different sections of your base. So basically, they made the most precious, rare commodity, and they've made it highly needed for pretty much everything. And it makes the whole thing ridiculously, needlessly complicated and difficult. I hate the stamina in this game. Why is it that the last couple of games that I've played, they have the stamina bar so poorly optimized? We're not playing as babies here. We're playing as badass veteran warriors. Why the hell are their stamina bars so weak? I mean, my dude runs for about 10 seconds and he's tuckered out for the day. Time to gobble up 4 buckets of food to recover. Sorry, people who've been sitting at home guarding the base. I need my stamina up to run around so I can collect more food for me and not you. And then the sleep bar. Oh my gosh, what is the deal with this thing? I rested twice in a row to try to get my sleep bar, my rest bar, whatever the heck you want to call that. I slept twice to try to get it to fill all the way up and it still didn't. It's like it was stuck at 75% and it won't go higher. But it goes down almost as fast as my stamina does. Do game developers just not understand the idea of stamina and sleep? I mean, I'm 31 years old, okay? I'm 31, okay? I spend all day sitting around my house taking care of kids. I'm not in the best shape, okay? I'll admit it. I'm not like super heavy or anything, but I'm like 10, 20 pounds overweight for what's considered healthy at my age. And I guarantee you that I would be able to do more in a day and have more stamina than this guy or Achilles in the last game. But back to this guy, this dude's been fighting in a post-apocalyptic hellhole for years. His stamina and strength should be off the charts just at a base level. So it's so frustrating. I go out to gather some food, fight a few zombies, and then I need a nap. And you're severely affected if your sleep meter gets too low too, so you have no choice but to go to sleep and waste time. We're talking the dude runs down the street, kills 5 zombies, looks through a couple of loot drops, and he's got to go to sleep. Why? Why? I could do that, and I could do that 20 more times before I would need to sleep today. And I'm overweight, and I'm over 30. Another thing that I wasn't too impressed with was the graphics and the art design. I don't know if it's the graphic or if it's the art design, but I'm not a big fan of it. Luckily, it's not that big of a deal to me, as I only see graphics as a minor point in video games like this. But even so, it just felt off to me. I mean, some of the guys' hands in the cutscenes were as big as their heads. It was just weird. And the last thing I really didn't like was the tutorial aspect here, the learning the game. There's no real tutorial, just a guy kind of telling you what to do. But the game doesn't tell you what everything is. I have no idea if I level up or not, or if I do, how. I have no idea which each individual stat does. Now, it's obvious what strength and constitution and wisdom and intelligence, we can figure out what those things do based on what they're called. But every game makes them do something a little bit differently. This game doesn't tell you what they do, so you have no idea. There's no tooltip bubbles that hover over things to tell you what they are or what they do anywhere in this game. Even for the items in your inventory, you can't just hover over them. You have to click on them, and then you have to hit the button to inspect it to see what it is. So if you're trying to compare gear, so if you got 2 green pistols in your backpack and you're trying to find out which pistol would be better for you, you have to individually go in, remember all the stats, then individually go into the other pistol and remember all the stats and then compare them in your head because there's no way to put them side by side. It's just really annoying and confusing needlessly here. The game is severely lacking in detail in a lot of important text that I'd like to have, so I find myself mostly guessing or just ignoring things because there's no way for the game to explain to me what this is or what that is. Also, the overall sound design. I wanted to. This was a brief thing because I forgot to put it in, but the music is pretty much bland and forgettable, and the sound effects of the guns or the smacking with weapons, the zombie sounds, they're all just subpar. They're not the best I've ever heard. They're a little bit below average on what I would expect for something like this. But I mean, those are the only things that really bothered me. All the things that I mentioned. There's actually a lot more there than I originally thought about the things that annoy me with this game. So for the things that I liked about this game, well, everything else. Even though I just went on and on about all the things I didn't like, overall, I really like this game. The combat is okay. It's not too hard. It's not too easy, but it is fun. The game is basically pretty easy to understand for the most part. I mean, even though it doesn't explain a lot of stuff, you'd have to be really dumb to not figure out some of this stuff. I mean, there's forming the squad, keeping them healthy and organized and well-equipped. I love that aspect. I love a lot of aspects in this game. Moving across the desert landscape to new environments as you expand and protect your settlements, fill them up with resources, upgrade them, waves of attacks you have to defend against, so you better make sure your defenses are in order, and just the overall exploration and open world survival feel this game gives. I mean, I'm only an hour and a half in, and I know for a fact I haven't seen everything this game has to show me, and I'm super excited to find out more. I do wish it was co-op. as that would make it a lot more fun and I could play with my wife, but it's not, so whatever. But that's not a game changer for me on this one. Yes, it has its problems, as I mentioned earlier, but even despite those problems, I found myself really enjoying it. It wasn't too slow, it wasn't too complicated, it wasn't all that boring. I was constantly looking for more stuff to do, I was constantly looking to improve my guy or my squad or my base, so I was always out exploring and looking for more stuff and fighting zombies. And it's got a very, like, progressive skill system, where the more you do something, the better you get at it. So the more you attack with a melee weapon, the better you get with that. The more you attack with a pistol, the better you get with pistols. The more you talk, the better you get at talking. Stuff like that. Kind of like Skyrim or Kenshi. The more you do it, the better you get. And I really like that too. So you can really customize your character to be the kind of survival you want him to be as you're playing. Is it the best survival game I've seen? No, but I think it's a pretty good one. It's hard for me to describe why I like this game so much. It was addictive and immersive. It put the right attention in the right spots despite my earlier complaints. I was having fun. That's basically it. I was addicted, and the game is only charging $20 for something that will probably last more than 20 hours of gameplay. Plus, the voice acting was really well done, and those voice actors deserve some credit. Although the quality would dip in and out on those recordings, that was a little bit frustrating, or not frustrating, a little bit annoying. But overall, the voice actors still did a really good job. So even after all those negatives I said, I would still recommend you give this game a try. If you're a fan of survival games or zombie games or both, then this is a must try. Within the first hour and a half of gameplay, you're going to know all you need to know about whether you're going to like this game or not and still be viable for a refund. So I encourage everyone who sees this video to at least go and check this game out. I don't know, something about it was just really fun and addicting to me. But those annoying points are still annoying and they're still there. So I do hope that the developers can release a patch or something to clear it up. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video, everyone. I hope you found it entertaining or at least informative. If you have any questions about the game, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer them as soon as possible. Don't forget to support my channel by hitting the like button and the subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. Thanks so much for watching, and until then, I bid you all farewell.